Greetings and welcome to our series of weekly devotionals. This week we're taking a look at the opening verses in the longest psalm in the Bible, the longest single chapter in the Bible, Psalm 119, which deals with different ways of looking, I think, different perspectives on God's teaching, God's instruction in our lives. I remember a story from our former conference minister, Alan Miller, who visited a church whose members were exhausted because their membership had dwindled and they were still trying to fill 37 different committees or something like that because their constitution and bylaws required that they maintain 37 different committees. And Alan Miller offered the simple solution, well, you can change your church's laws, don't you? I'm not sure we always believe that to be true. Sometimes we think those things are etched in stone, but those laws sometimes can and should be changed. And I think, well, the same can be said about the laws in our society. I'm not an advocate for breaking the law. I believe we should all be law-abiding citizens, but sometimes laws become unjust. The former Congressman John Lewis spoke of stirring up good trouble, because sometimes we need to protest and work against unjust laws within the institutions and structures within our society. These laws are human, after all, made by humans and instituted by humans. But Psalm, one of the ways that we think of God's instruction is as God's law, the Torah, the law of God. Happy are those whose way is blameless, who walk in the law of the Lord, who also do no wrong but walk in his ways. The psalmist writes in the opening of Psalm 119, and one of the things we learn about God's law is that, well, God's law is eternal. God's law is unchanging. God's ways are forever. And we are to make a priority of God's laws. A few weeks ago, I put out an email celebrating something called Constitution Day, celebrating the anniversary of the writing of the Constitution. And I actually got a couple of angry responses from church members who were bemoaning the fact that the Constitution has been changed and so often, and it's been rendered invalid because of all the changes that corrupt politicians have made to it over the years. And I didn't respond to these angry emails, but I was thinking that, the founders of the Constitution themselves actually did change the thing. They wrote something called the Bill of Rights and amendments to the Constitution. So throughout our country's history, laws have been meant to be changed because, of course, they are human laws. Sometimes we put a little bit too much of a priority on human laws and disregard God's law. But Psalm 119 reminds us that while human law changes with needs and wants and priorities, God's law indeed is forever. Amen.